It's the Tell Me Something Good night, a holiday feature with my families and other stars, other families, and we're so glad that you're here with us. This is such a happy story. In fact, the people I'm going to be talking with next, I'd like to say it's a love story and a story of love. Because joining me by telephone are Aubrie and Lucas Ross. And they have done something really pretty fantastic. They have recorded an album that is so hopeful and so uplifting and just good that I actually begged them to come on tonight so that I could feature their song. Now, you know Lucas Ross because, as his press release says, he's the local TV funny guy, and he's been entertaining Oklahoma and beyond for over 15 years, appearing in local films, commercials, and, of course, a wonderful music and math curriculum called Alley Dog Depot. You know him by watching Rise and Shine, and he plays the banjo, and he's just full of talent. And for the first time in a 14-year marriage, Lucas has brought in who he calls the real talent, his wife, Aubrie. Now, that's the love story. The two met at Oklahoma Christian in the fall of 1999, and they would tour together in a recruiting group for the school, performing for church camps and schools while bringing a mixture of comedy and acoustic music. Then the wedding bells happened in 2006. Lucas began his career in media and entertainment as Aubrie, and this is the first part's the love story. The story of love is Aubrie started a non-profit called Heartbeat for Hope, benefiting the children of the Village of Hope in Ghana, Africa. And as the years have passed, these two have made trips to Africa and done all kinds of incredible things. And tonight, they have recorded an album, and we're going to hear one of the songs, and you'll understand what I mean. So, Lucas and Aubrie Ross, welcome to 1000 KTOK. I kind of stole the love story. So tell me, what did it take to record this album? Aubrie, you want to go first?
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, thanks for having us on tonight. This is something that Lucas and I had talked about doing for years, and this year the time allowed that. And so we were able to put together several songs, some that we had just enjoyed ourselves for a long time, and then some originals that Lucas wrote, and another really talented lady, Barbie, that came and joined in on the one that you'll hear later.
And I understand that part of the proceeds from your album go to Heartbeat for Hope. Tell me about Heartbeat for Hope.
Well, Heartbeat for Hope, as you mentioned earlier, was founded in 2009 after I had heard about this place, Village of Hope in Ghana, Africa, that seemed to really be doing amazing, wonderful things to help children in need. And I wanted to be a part of that and bring in others to also help with that. Village of Hope is, it started out as just an orphanage in the late 90s, and they would rescue children out of slavery and those who had been abandoned, and they would bring them in to house them and feed them, and they provide education and watch them grow into adults and be able to care for themselves and their families as they grow older. And now it's grown into a larger place that also still includes orphanage, but also a school, a high school, and a skills training facility as well.
And most people know Lucas because he does concerts at the American Banjo Museum. He plays incredible news on Rise and Shine. Lucas, though, when you went to Ghana with Aubrie, it kind of hit a new creative side to you, and you wrote some songs about that, didn't you?
Well, we got to do music workshops over there, and a lot of people don't know the origin of and I didn't either when I first started playing the banjo, but it's an African instrument. It was brought over in early America and adapted over years and years later into white culture, but it comes from Africa. And after I had started doing more stuff with the banjo and the Banjo Museum, and Aubrie had been with her with this group, the Village of Hope. They invited me to come back, and Fred Asari, who works with the school that's over, the director of the school, said, "Hey, you need to bring your banjo and do a banjo workshop." And I was like, "Fred, I'm the last person to come over and do a banjo workshop for a place that the banjo came from." He's like, "Well, they haven't seen it. These kids haven't got to see this instrument, and they don't know about this." So I went over and tried to learn as much as I could. I showed them some things that we do, and I got to do an art and music workshop. And I did that with Bob Lashley, Aubree's father, who also recorded my album. He went as well, and we did this music workshop with the kids, and oh my goodness, we had such a great time with them. And one girl in particular was named Benedicta, who, while we were there, said that we were talking about how they feel. We were writing a song about the Village of Hope, and she said, "I feel safe here. I feel like a melody." And another child said, "You can't feel a melody." And she said, "Well, that's what I do." And I said, "No, you can feel a melody." And that line, she said, "I feel a melody in my heart." And that just stuck with me for years. And I was like, I got to put that in a song. So there's another song on our little album called Benedicta, and that's one of the lines is, "There's a melody that lives in my heart." And that came straight from her. She was one of so many sweet, sweet, wonderful kids and good friends that we have there. So it was truly an inspiration, and I love getting to go there and have that connection and realize just really kind of how small the whole world is. It sounds kind of cliche, but it's true. It's true. They just happen to be on that side of the world, and we just happen to have landed here, and so it's nice to be connected.
Well, before we run out of time, for people that will want to have a copy of your album, what's the best way to do that?
Well, we're selling them out of the trunk of my car in the parking lot.
Well, with COVID, can we have a non-contact thing?
Yes. You can on my website, lucasross.tv, if that's not pretentious enough. But that has that there, and proceeds of it do go to Heartbeat for Hope. And if they want to find out more about Aubree's nonprofit, they can go to heartbeatforhope.com and find out the whole story there. It's a really beautiful, beautiful thing that we're honored to get to be part of.
Well, I ask you all to join me tonight because there's a song that spoke to me called Looking for Hope. Tell me the story behind it.
Well, Barbie Angel is a poet and an acclaimed author out of North Carolina, out of Asheville. And she and I connected because of our mutual love for Steve Martin. Years ago online, somehow we connected somewhere we had both had mutual Steve Martin meeting stories or something. And we just stayed in touch. And as Steve Martin and Edie Brickell started to produce things, Barbie said, "It'd be so cool to write some poems and send them to you and have you put it to music." And we talked about this for about 7 years. And then this year when Aubrie and I started recording, I was like, I want to go back and get one of those songs and do it. And I wrote her, and I said, "Hey, is it still okay?" And she goes, "Well, actually, I have this new poem that I wrote." She's been self-quarantined for hundreds of days, and she wrote these lines that everybody can relate to, whether it's during this pandemic or a hard time in your life or whatever. And it ties in with some of these children in the Village of Hope, the story too, just looking for that answer and that promise that we all want to have. And it just kind of worked perfect for this time. And so we are so thankful for Barbie Angel. She's such a talent, and I think she's listening in North Carolina. So love to her, and thank you so much, Barbie, for sharing your beautiful words of encouragement.
So from the album Aubrie and Lucas that you can purchase at Lucas Ross TV, Aubrie and Lucas, here is Looking for Hope.
I'm looking for hope. I search the couch cushions, I'm digging through memories, looking for hope. It was here once before. I'm fighting through fear. I'm forcing and pushing. I'm sorting through history. I'm fighting through fear. And I win this war. Hope will surround us. It helps us to breathe. It's not for the foolish. It's not for the weak. Hope comes from courage. It's not for the naive. When we are broken, helps us to speak. I'm looking for hope. It was here, I am sure. It was under the stairs. it was just down the hall. You can't stand alone. It's not its own cure, but it pushes me forward. Might save us all. Hope will surround us. It helps us to breathe. It's not for the foolish. It's not for the weak. Hope comes from courage. It's not for the naive. When we are broken, I'm looking for hope.
Surround us, it helps us to
I
breathe.
search the couch
It's not for the
cushions,
foolish, it's not for the weak.
digging through memories.
It's not for the
It was
naive.
here once before. I'm fighting through
When we are
fear.
broken, hope helps us
I'm
to speak.
forcing and
Hope comes from
pushing.
courage, not for the
I'm
naive.
sorting through
It's not for the foolish, it's not for the
and I win this war. I'm looking for hope. I'm looking for hope. I'm looking for hope.
Aubrie and Lucas Ross. You can buy their album at Lucas Ross TV. Looking for Hope.